What's up? What's up? What's up? Hello, everybody. This is your main man Pips, aka Mr. Levels, aka Hop, aka It's Up the you know. I just wanted to come and give you guys my pre-week analysis. So let's jump into it. Starting out with Ditsy as always. We're gonna be looking at the weekly range and which direction I'm expecting price to expand in for the week. So when looking at Ditsy, being that we've been bullish since July 14th, um, I'm looking for us to, well, the week of July 17th, should I say, right? We've been bullish since the week of July 17th. And I am neutral for the pre-week analysis, right? Now, if I just had to go with analysis, right? If I had a gun to my head, I would like to see the dollar continue to expand to the upside to run last week's buy side liquidity, right? Because if we break down to the daily time frame, we'll see this imbalance that we have here. This CB is coined by Michael Huddleston, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. We see that that wasn't completely filled in last week, right? So what I will be paying close attention to is if price breaks above this buy side liquidity. If we break above this buy side liquidity and find support, my attention will be drawn to these equal highs right here, right? I will be looking for us to run those equal highs, right? Now, if we break below last week's PD array, which are these two levels right here at 102 102030 and one hold on. Let me make sure I got this correct. 1020 yeah, 102030 and 101807, right? If we break below those levels, um, I will be looking for us to run last week's sell side liquidity and potentially continue to sell off. However, as I said, my gun to head analysis or bias for the dollar is continuing to expand to the upside. So with that being said, I'll go back to the weekly time frame and we'll keep it moving to look at our currency pairs that me and my group trade, which is Euro USD, GBP USD, and NZD USD. So we already know that our currencies move in the opposite direction of the dollar, meaning they're inversely correlated with the dollar. So if I'm expecting dollar to expand to the upside this week, naturally I would be expecting currencies to expand to the downside. So that's what you see here on the weekly time frame. You see the weekly range from last week, the buy side and sell side liquidity of last week. And I would like to see Euro USD expand lower into this blue shaded area, which is a daily fair value gap. We break that down. I'm sorry, it's not a daily fair value gap. It is the daily discount PD array from Friday. That's what that blue shaded area is. It's the discount of last Friday's daily candle, right? So I would like to see Euro USD expand down into that PD array, and then we will make some decisions from there once we see price reach down into there, right? If we fall through it like a falling knife, right? If we slice through it, then I will look for us to come back and retest it and find a resistance. And then if we find that resistance, then I will look for Euro USD to continue lower to run last week's sell side liquidity, right? Really simple. Moving on to GBP USD. We're looking at the same thing. I'm looking for us to expand lower. Um, to run last week's sell side liquidity. We go down to the daily time frame just to get a better view. Yeah, I would love to see us expand lower to run sell side liquidity. Now I'm not worried about a pullback up to the PD array because that's kind of what we want to see, right? Um, Friday candle Friday's candle retested that lower level of that premium array, right? Right here. So I'm not worried if we expand to retest that upper level or the 79% PD array level from last week's weekly range. um, I would look for us to respect that and not break above it aggressively or close above it. And if that happens, then we will be expecting GBP USD to continue to expand lower to run last week's sell side liquidity. Vice versa, if we do um, run that upper PD array level right here, right? And we close above it, then I will simply expect us to expand higher to run sell last week's buy side liquidity. And the same thing for Euro USD because I left that out with Euro USD, but the same thing. And looking at our last currency pair that we trade, NZD USD. Let me go back to the weekly. Same thing as with euro and the pound. I am expecting us to expand lower to run last week's sell side liquidity. I'm not this pink shaded, this pink shaded area right here that you see is a daily fair value gap from last week's price range, right? Right here. So um what the fair value gap isn't from last week's price range, but we dipped into the fair value gap during last week's price range. And so what I am expecting for us to do is continue lower to run last week's sell side liquidity. Um, I'm going to keep this fair value gap here because if we break above that aggressively, then um, that will be an indication that we are definitely going to um, retest last week's premium array from last week's price range, right? So, cool beans, cool beans. Let me tighten these PD array levels up. Cool beans. So now, moving on to metals, me and my team, we trade silver and gold. And let me go to the weekly time frame. 1 second. Right. Cool beans. So we know that metals inversely correlate with Dixie as well. So being that I'm expecting Dixie to expand higher, I am expecting metals to expand lower. I would like to see silver expand lower to run last week's sell side liquidity. However, if we do respect this blue shaded area, which is the discount array from July 10th weekly range, if we find support here, then I will expect silver to pull back up into last week's PD array. Plain and simple. Cool beans, cool beans. Looking at gold, same difference. I will be expecting gold to expand lower to run last week's sell side liquidity. However, I'm not worried if we do pull back up to retest last week's premium array from last week's price range. That is highly likely and it's expected. So if we do pull back up, we want to notice, we want to pay attention how price reacts to the lower level of that premium array in the upper level, right? And if we run those levels and we don't close above that upper level, then I will expect us to continue down and run last week's sell side liquidity. If we break above it, then I simply expect us to run last week's buy side liquidity and potentially reach up into this weekly fair value gap that we failed to run when we reached up and rent these equal highs right here. So that's what I'll be expecting out of gold. Looking at oil, me and my team, we do trade oil, and we've been waiting for oil to get to the level that it's at now for a while now. I want to see us break above the shaded area, right? This weekly fair value gap right here. And I would like to see us find support. And if we find that support, then I will be expecting us to expand higher up to $100 for oil. Plain and simple. If we find resistance here, if we respect this level, then I would like to see us pull back down into this weekly fair value gap that we see shaded right here, this pink shaded area. So that's what I got for oil. Moving on to futures. Looking at E-mini S&P 500, I would like to see us expand higher to retest last week's PD array, premium array that is, from last week's price range. So that's what I'm paying attention to. However, keep your eyes on this pink shaded area right here, which is this weekly fair value gap and volume imbalance, right? We will be looking at price to show us some kind of indication that it's willing to push through that and expand higher, or either respect that and expand lower to run last week's sell side liquidity and potentially the week of July the 10th sell side liquidity. But I do want to see us expand higher into this weekly premium array. We may only push up to consequent encroachment of this weekly fair value gap. And you know that consequent encroachment is the 50% mark of a defined area. So he's talking about around there. I'm not gonna get it perfect for you guys right now. You can go and do that yourselves. But this would be my first TP, right? Longing from where we're currently at. If I was to take a buy from where we're currently at, this would be my first TP. And then the lower premium array would be my second TP, and the upper PD array would be my third TP. And I would be looking to exit the market, and I wouldn't be greedy and try to stay in the trade to run buy side liquidity. That's more than enough. Um, if we do this, you're talking 36 handles from what price is currently at, 64 handles to the lower PD array, and then 87 handles to the upper PD array. So that's what I'm looking at for ES. Looking at E-mini Dow, same thing. I would like to see us pull back up into last week's PD array. All right. That's what I'm looking for. And I want to see how price reacts when we hit this lower level of the week of July the 24th, that low of that week, which is 35,346. That would be my first TP. This would be my second TP. This would be my third TP. And looking at E-mini NASDAQ, same thing. I would like to see us pull back up into last week's PD array. All right. So, I don't need that right now. All right. I would like to see us pull back up into last week's PD array. I got my eyes on this level here, this low of July the 24th price range, which is 15,483.75, right? That would be TP1 for me if I'm buying from here, right? If you're listening to this right now and you're just taking a trade, what you shouldn't do until you go and do your own analysis, and that's completely on you. But if I was to take this buy right now, this would be my first TP, second TP, third TP. Same as with Dow and S&P. So with that being said, last but not least, I will look at crypto. We don't per se day trade crypto. We more are just dollar cost averaging into crypto, strengthening our position in the crypto market as far as Bitcoin and Ethereum. I would like to see us expand lower to retest 28,450 and then expand higher up to 40,000. So that's what I'm looking at as far as Bitcoin and dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. Looking at Ethereum, we've already retested my level of Ethereum, right? So I would like to see us expand higher to retest 2,000 for Bitcoin. However, if we break through this structure, then I would like to see us fill in this imbalance that we see here and come down and retest 17,068. I'm sorry, 1,768 for Ethereum. That's what I'm looking at for Ethereum. We also, I am a firm believer in Yuga Labs and what they're doing over there in with ApeCoin. So we are just dollar cost averaging in the ApeCoin, and my next level to dollar cost average into ApeCoin is $1.50. So if we expand lower, I will be buying more ApeCoin at $1.50 right now. I'm holding ApeCoin and looking for us to retest all-time highs eventually. So that will conclude the pre-week analysis. I hope you guys find some value in this pre-week analysis, and I hope it guides you in the markets this week to you know catch some gains and catch some gains and better your understanding of weekly ranges, daily ranges, and um, how to monitor these markets and execute your trades in these markets. So, with that being said, I would just like to thank you guys for tuning in, coming out, getting this knowledge and empowering yourselves. Let your family and friends know you love them while they still here, please. And as always, peace and love, everybody. You know.